Hello, Dr. James Bogash, expert in health and longevity, and I've made it no secret that I am not a fan of artificial sweeteners, and even stevia I'm generally not a fan of. They allow you to cheat Mother Nature, and there's always a price to be paid for that, but they are everywhere in society, and they are incredibly well accepted. From the diabetics to the keto people, we just think that everything's okay. It's gotten to the point where even regular sodas, at least in Mexico, have sucralose in it because it helps them to avoid the food tax. Before I go into how this might be damning our entire society and the world we live in, make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think needs the information because they think artificial sweeteners are fine, and subscribe to the channel. So keep in mind, this is a mouse study, and I'll point out in a second why that's not a viable excuse anymore. But they fed the mice either sucralose, which brand name Splenda, stevia, or water. And they followed, so what they found in that group is there wasn't a whole lot of weight change in that. So they weren't heavier, they weren't lighter. The second generation, who was not exposed to sucralose or stevia, had higher body weight in both groups. Their grandkids, so the second generation down, they were only exposed in the grandparents at this point, had increased body weight with sucralose. But what was also interesting is they looked at something called epigenetic modification via an enzyme called histone deacetylase 3, and so that helps to, it's called epigenetic modification. It's changing the way that genes are expressed. And they looked specifically in the liver and the intestines, and there were some modifications in both the parents, or the grandparents, the parents, all three generations had alterations in what was happening in their genetics, for good or for ill. So you're like, oh, well, this was a mouse study. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go drink my Diet Coke and balance it out with a fast food value meal. But we have seen in the International Journal of Obesity in 2020, we saw that pregnancy in humans, non-nutritive sweeteners like sucralose or Splenda, aspartame in pregnancy led to higher body weight in the offspring. We also saw it again in Biomedicine's 2023, where their non-nutritive sweeteners during pregnancy led to higher inflammation markers and body weight in the kids. We are potentially screwing up generations to come. And you look at, our kids are more obese now than we were 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And certainly our food has gotten crappier. The environmental chemicals we're exposed to, the activity levels have changed. But artificial sweeteners have managed to sneak their way into just about every aspect of society now. And there's a price to be paid. And this is just yet another study confirming that it changes, if not in the mom, then in the kids if mom had artificial sweeteners while pregnant. And if it's screwing it up while pregnant, you better believe there's going to be other prices to be paid in the consumer, not just their kids and grandkids. As always, I'll post a link to this particular study in the description. Make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think needs the information, and subscribe to the channel.